Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Action Comics 124, Superman of Doom. Other than that being a great title, do you remember the comic that had the Gargoyle as a villain, and near the end of it, the Gargoyle used a radioactive gas, and Superman couldn't get near anybody until the radioactivity passed through his body, or else he would kill them. Because he can be radioactive. Humans can't, at least not out of normal low-level radiation that's around us at all times. And that's where we get a really great concept for Superman of Doom. Now, I want to kind of complain that the story takes a turn and becomes the less interesting version of the story, but that would be incredibly unfair because I can't blame this on the Golden Age, as I totally see a modern story doing the same thing this story does. It's just that the whole thing about him being radioactive and at least trying to fix it gets thrown out. There is a solution, which is how the climax should work. There should be a solution before he ends up saving the day. It's not about getting rid of the radiation. It's about him finding a way to protect others for a little while, and then he just kind of passes the radiation. And I would have liked to see a little bit more of him trying to figure out how to deal with the radiation. But anyway, there is a problem at the Atom Factory. You know, the Atom Factory? That's what you refer to it, huh? Where they're storing the atoms in a small brick box, brick container. It's just a thin layer of bricks. You know, this place needed OSHA before it needed Superman. It's going to explode, and that's going to be very dangerous for Metropolis for radioactive material to explode in the middle of it. So Superman does the classic Superman thing, a thing he still does. He flies it out into space so it can explode there. But he is involved in the explosion and the radiation hits him. It doesn't really hurt him. Radiation is supposed to hurt Superman later on because, like, kryptonite's just radioactive rock from his own planet, depending on the version of kryptonite we're going for. So after the explosion, he has like a thin layer of white energy around him, like an aura. This is because he's radioactive. White is a little too simple to show that. I would have had him glowing green. That's also not how that works, but it's visually more, or at least to a modern sense, that's visually more communicative of him being radioactive. As soon as he enters, like, the Earth's atmosphere, I guess not as soon as he enters the Earth's atmosphere, but as he gets into the sky, he runs into a bird that catches fire near him, so Superman can't get near anyone or else they will burst into flames and die. By the way, the title Superman of Doom comes from a newspaper headline when they find out about this that says, "Now, Superman of Doom." Newspaper really doesn't need to report on this stuff because it leads to bad things if criminals know he's radioactive and the criminals figure out he's radioactive or that he can't come near them. So they're trying to take advantage, and Superman is just finding creative ways to deal with them at a distance. So this leads to what it always leads to, them kidnapping Lois. And I know I was very overexcited about how Lois was kidnapped and killing her would break his heart in the last issue, but that was all due to choices and understanding about Superman. This is more about just a thing they do. None of them are aware that if they kill Lois or do something to Lois, it's going to affect Superman. It's just like one of the easiest things they can do. She's just around and he kind of knows her. It has nothing to do with breaking his heart or an understanding that Superman is really in love with her. So Superman is left with only one option. He makes a suit out of lead. He covers his entire body with lead, including no eye holes because his eyes are radioactive too. So he's just going to use his X-ray vision. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. X-rays don't work on lead. In fact, we use lead shielding to protect certain areas on the body when we get X-rays. In fact, this is one of his great weaknesses, that the X-ray vision doesn't work on lead. Actually, I was going to complain that the staff didn't understand this, but the staff does know this, or at least one writer did. There is a story where Lois was taken underground by, I believe, the prankster in a lead-lined room underground, and Superman found them really quickly because he used his X-ray vision and noticed there was a, like, elevator tunnel box that he couldn't see through near him, and immediately figured out that that's where they would be keeping someone away from him. But X-rays don't work on lead. And it's like they forgot or they just intentionally didn't care. Like, their solution to the radioactivity is not a good solution. So the Man of Lead, as I will now call him, breaks right through the room and saves Lois, and the criminals are dealt with. And we just easily, in the resolution, just say he's no longer radioactive. Like, no time is really dedicated to him looking into how to fix that. And I was more interested in that conflict than the conflict with the criminals trying to rob places. But that's more of a personal taste. It's not that that story was weaker in any kind of way. It's just I liked him trying to deal with the radioactivity because I thought that was a stronger conflict. But I think this is an okay story that's hampered by just a really ridiculous ending and not focusing on what I wanted to focus with, but that shouldn't really knock it down. That's just, a review, a subjective review. I would have rathered it gone that way, but it's fine as is. It's ridiculous, but it's fine as is. That is it from Action Comics 124, Superman of Doom. Great title. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. Until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And what's going on with these atom factories? They really need some sort of regulation to be watching over them. Okay, have a great day.